Hello, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to MK Convenience Brokerage. My name is Mohammed. In this video, I'm going to help you guys to fill out a 1040 U.S. individual income tax return for 2016. Now, this tax return is basically used for it's a 1040 form. Make it simple. Everyone uses the 1040 form if you're a tax preparer. So basically, this is what the tax preparer uses to put in your information. This is basically say like a general information that it's been put in. Usually, the computer does it automatically when the tax preparer asks you question initially, like they ask you for your names and everything. So the computer automatically puts in the 1040 form. But since we're not using a tax preparer form as of now, you mean the system, I'm going to show it to you manually how to pull in the information. So the first thing first is your first name and initial. So let's say if your name is John, first name, your initial like J, last name, let's put Smith. Social security number, let's put 000 000000. If joint return spouse, first name and initial, what that means is, let's say for example, if you're married, you're going to be doing a joint return. You put that person's spouse's first name and initial. If it doesn't apply to you, then you leave it blank. Since I'm gonna say this person's individual does not have a spouse, we're going to leave this blank. But if that person does have a spouse, make sure their names and everything is correct, especially with the social security number. If your social security number is not correct, it will be a problematic, meaning that once you file the return, like once you electronic file the return, it will come back at you, and you don't want that to happen. So keep that in mind. Home address, let's put 222 East 2nd Street. If you have a P.O. box, see instructions. Apartment number, let's put 1. City, let's put Queens, New York 11235. Foreign country name, if it applies to you. Foreign province, state, county. Foreign postal code. And this one is presented election campaign. Check here if you or your spouse, if filing jointly, wants $3 to go to the fund. This is a yes or no. If you don't want anything, just leave that blank. Again, now it's a filing status, as you can see over here. It's quite simple to do a 1040 return. It's one of the simplest returns to fill out. So you put single. Obviously, like I said before, if it's single. Now if you're married, filing jointly, it'll be married filing jointly. Now if you're separately, then you put married filing separately. Head of household, if let's say for example, if you have children that lives with you more than you, let's say if you were married filing, let's say you and your wife are divorced, and your children live more time with you than your wife, then you will be the head of household because you're taking care of their needs and everything. Meaning that you will show expenses of your children that they stay more time with you and your address, showing proof and everything. That's what will qualify for head of household. If not, then obviously no. Qualifying widower, if would depend. Let's say if one of your husband died or your wife died, now one person is alive, of course your widow. That's where the with dependent child comes in. For argument purposes, we're gonna put single. I go down exemptions. Yourself or your spouse. Yourself, if someone can claim you as a dependent, do not check box 6A. So meaning that if someone, let's say for example, if you're under let's say 19 or 20, like this is an example, and if somebody can claim you as a dependent, then you cannot put exemption. Meaning that let's say let me use a better example. Let's say you are living in your aunt's home. You can be considered as a dependent because you're under 21. At a certain age, even until 24, if I'm correct, if my memory serves me right, you can be claimed as a dependent. You might be married, but you can still be claimed as a dependent under somebody else. So they're making sure, are you considered as a dependent or not? So if you are considered as a dependent, then you cannot check box 6A. Your wife might be your dependent, but usually they don't put you your spouse as dependent because they usually put children as dependent. So whatever it is, you put this over here. And like I said again, this is going manually. If you're using the computer does it automatically for you. It will ask you how many dependents you have. If you're married, filing jointly, if you have any kids, whatever it is, the computer puts everything over here automatically. So keep this in mind. What explaining here is a little bit difficult, but when you have a computer, it makes your life much more easier. Going over here for income, like this part. Wages, salaries, tips, whatever you make, you put the information over here. Let's say if you make like $7,800. Taxable interest. This is mostly pre-filled by the computer. So whatever it is, it will put out all information over here. All information, like for example, business income, loss, schedule CEZ. If you had a business, whatever your loss it was, you put over here. Social security benefits, other income. All these items will create a worksheet, separate worksheet. So if customers will usually bring in something with them. So let's say if they were getting interest from the bank, they will have a form with them. If they were getting interest by something else, they will have anything they do. They will have a form with them. So all these questions are formable questions that they will have, and they will give it to you. Educator expense. You want to, like, say for example, if we were taking classes and everything, I'll come over here. Start on a business expense. If you had a business and you use some items over here. Health saving account deduction. If you had a let's say United Healthcare or Fidelity, you were putting deduction, should be over here. Moving expenses, deductible part, all over here. IRA deduction, it all will be over here. If not here, then if you're using a tax provider software, it will pop up on another screen, and you will fill out the information from yes or no questions. That's how simple it is. Again, you can fill out all these questions, and the computer will do it for you. Amount from line 37, adjusted gross income. You were born before January 1952. I mean, obviously, it's not going to happen. Most people are born 2017 or 20, like meaning like you in 1980s and 90s. You'll see them more like in this age group. You will not see these people. If you do, then obviously you check mark the boxes, and obviously go from there. It all depends on what type of age group you have. I mean, you'll have students to middle-aged people to senior citizen. So depending on what age group they follow, but most of the time you'll see the middle-aged group and the younger students or younger generation coming to you to file taxes. Itemized deduction. This is like I said before, all the screens will pop up. So let's say, for example, if these people want to itemize the deduction, meaning that they want to separate, because there's two types of deduction. You got itemized deduction, you can do a standard deduction. Itemized deduction means that you want to break everything apart. So let's say rather than saying that take $12,000 in my general deduction, which you don't have to show much proof of because you're doing the general deduction, itemized deduction, there has to be proof. Meaning that you have to prove to the tax preparer that each item that I'm listed is the truth. You don't want to lie to your tax preparer and say that you had $10,000 of itemized deduction and you made about $30,000 and you lied on that $10,000 and you cannot show proof. That will be a bad effect because you could get penalized by the IRS. You don't want that. So everything you itemize, you basically should have to prove. Most proofs are within your credit card. Now these days everyone uses credit cards. Credit card usually gives statements at the end of the year to show you that this is the itemized deduction from here. So you don't really have to do much about it. So everything is inside that part. Exemption, taxable income. Like again, all these things are usually pre-filled. Education credit from Form 8863. Again, I don't have the form, but like that's how it usually is over here. Oh, what happened? Oh, here it is. So basically, that's how it is. Resident energy credits, other credits from Form 8380085. All these things are usually basically come into a factor whatever form you're using. You will not see all these items. You will not see them listed over here because it doesn't. A lot of people don't really have that. For example, people not have an IRA. Rarely people you see an IRA deduction. You might see some. You might not see a lot. But usually people that come in with a W-2 or a 1099 form. 1099 form is basically self-employed. Or Schedule C. That's it. That's how people come in. They give you the deductions. You do an itemized deduction or standard deduction depending on what they want, and it's simple. You don't have to do much, and you just have to do making sure that everything is correct and they're telling you the truth to the best of their abilities. Other taxes, again over here, as you can see, what the other taxes is. Payments and well, if you have a qualifying child, if you have children, earned income credits is basically showing you that. If this will done be, like I said, automatically. Some of the things are done automatically. You don't even have to do anything. The computer does it automatically because it's like tied with the IRS. So they tell you how much earned income credit is going to be. You don't have to do multiplication and calculations. That's why you have the tax software. Just like if you use TurboTax and everything, the computer does it automatically because it's up to date with the IRS. So having using a computer generated system and then using now these forms, what are they used? These forms are used, let's say if you're filing taxes late. So let's say, for example, 2018 is going to start. April is going to be, not sure exact date, April, I think 10th, will be the deadline for filing taxes. More or less, I'm not sure exact date, you're going to double check with the IRS. So let's say, for example, if you're going to be filing that 2017 taxes in July, guess what? You cannot file electronic. You can't go to tax preparer. So basically, this form itself is used by handwritten. So IRS will tell you, okay, now you got to file taxes by paper. Meaning that your tax preparer, well, if they have the older version, they can do it on the computer, print it out. Obviously, you still have to pay them, but they cannot file it. They'll have to mail it. Now, it will take longer. You might get penalized for filing taxes later and everything, but guess what? You'll still be able to file taxes. That's what these forms are used for. Or if you don't want to go to the tax preparer, you could just do this automatically by using either like TurboTax or any of the online tax software where you could do this thing on your own. So this is one of the forms that they tell you that, where a 1040 form, this is the 1040 form that I'm showing you. So once you put all the information, refunds, and the amount you owe, it will show you over here if you owe them amount. Third party destination, basically if your friend or family or your tax preparer is doing this, that's third party designee. Again, if they have the P10, they will put the P10 PIN, person identification number, PIN. You will put your PIN over here, phone number, designee name, depending on if that applies to you, your signature and everything. And obviously, if you have a paid preparer, which means a tax preparer, they will put down their firm's EIN number, phone number, and everything should be over here. Basically, it's like I said, it's simple, it's easy, it's not that difficult. I don't even have to show you how exactly to fill it out because, like I said before, your system will do it for you. A lot of these things are updated. Some of these things, they show it to you by paper, like I'm showing to you, just to get like an idea how you have to do it. So let's say, for example, your system doesn't work. Your system falls down, like let's say not falls down, but let's say your system doesn't work anymore. It falls out of the network. Something happens. Guess what? You have some type of backup to do it by hand. That's what the purpose of this is. Like if words come to words doesn't happen, you do it by hand. That's how tax preparer used to have it happen. People were using their hands, meaning writing in a piece of paper and sending it to the IRS. But now they change it. Now everything is done online. That's why everything is different now. So with that said, guys, hopefully it was an enjoyable lesson. You guys learned from this how basically it wasn't much for me to go on because, like I said before, and so many times I repeated it so many times. Everything is done on the system, on the program you have. The program does everything for you. The program will ask you if you're married, how much money you have, how much money you make. Your W-2 will put in all the information, and the computer will automatically put everything over here. The only items the computer will not put is the automatic deduction, because that's the question you're going to be asking. You're going to be putting in right places in the deduction standards. So basically, those are some of the things that you will have to put in. Other than the computer will put in everything for you, and you don't have to list a single item inside. So basically, that's about it, guys. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, please comment, like, subscribe. I'll try my best to help you guys out as much as possible. Thank you again, guys, for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it.